All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Brickie Bowl, Hobart High School, where we are just about set for the tossing of the coin. As I told you, Mark Smith would be here, folks. He is. Jim Rainbow along with Mark Smith. Mark, nice of you to join us tonight.
Hey, no place I'd rather be, although there were a lot of places that I almost was. But we're about ready to go for the feature game of the year. The Brickies with a 5-game winning streak, Merrillville with a 5-game winning streak coming in. This game is virtually for the Duneland Conference Championship, although not exactly, because the winner this week could lose next week and end up with only a half share. But this is the perfect weather tonight, about 60 degrees. This is the greatest stage for high school football in Northwest Indiana. Whether you play for or against Hobart, you haven't really done it until you do it here in the Brickie Bowl. We're about ready to go.
That's correct, and I alluded to earlier is the mystique. It seems like Hobart wins a lot of ball games just by the sheer presence of having to play here in the Brickie Bowl.
It's interesting to see how that would affect some of the younger players on Merrillville, the quarterback Gill, and the halfback Jamel Williams.
We are just about set for the kickoff. The Brickies going to kick it off. Left to right on your screen. Back deep to receive. That's Williams and Gallegos.
Manalopolis kicking off. Important for Merrillville to get off to a quick start. Hobart has not been scored on in the first quarter all season long.
Well, the Merrillville Pirates are going to see if they can't score first, because you've got to figure the team that scores first is going to have the momentum. It's a short kick, fielded by the upback, number 81. That's Atwood. Get out just over the 30-yard line. Merrillville Pirates are going to take over 1st and 10 on their own 31-yard line. Real quickly, let's check the offensive lineup. Defensively, the Brickies are going to stack up with a big front line. We're talking 190, 220, 190. A lot of guys up front. Big ball game expected out of number 12, Troy Gill, the junior quarterback for the Merrillville Pirates. He has got to get off to a great start.
Double
That's number 32, Rick Mayersky, going up over right side. Mayersky pickup of about 3 yards. Put it at about the 35-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd and 7.
Hobart came out with a Merrillville, with a very conservative set. Double tight end, 1 wide receiver. It's going to be tough to line it up with 2 tights and drive it out against the Brickies.
2nd and 7, ball at the 35-yard line. That's Gallegos and Mayersky, the tandem in the backfield. The pitch is to Gallegos. Gallegos met hard, but spins free for a pickup of about 4 yards. That'll bring up 3rd down and 2.
And we talked about this last week, Jim. The Merrillville backs all run hard. Gallegos not big at all. Should have been stopped at the 36, but spun away and got 3 more yards.
Gallegos just 5 feet 8 inches tall and 160 pounds, but don't let that little frame fool you. He has got power.
3rd down and short. Key play for Merrillville right off the bat. Don't want to give Hobart the ball because they're so dominating with ball possession.
Gill on the option, and Gill is met hard. Thrown for a loss, number 60. That's Brad Ball coming up from his guard position, or from his tackle position. He makes the stop. That's going to bring up 4th down and about 5 yards for the first, so a loss of 3 on that play.
You can see there Hobart well ready for the outside speed of Merrillville, Gallegos, Williams, and Troy Gill. Here's a situation where you have to watch the punt return capability of Hobart.
Not a whole lot of height, but a good kick. Fielded there by Rick Knight. He mishandles it. They'll down it right there. Brickies are going to take over 1st and 10 on their own 32-yard line.
Tough one, because Knight could have had a long return.
Take a look real quickly at the Brickie offense. Rick Knight, number 17, the quarterback, the leader on this team. First year playing the QB spot, and he's done a whale of a job. Coach Don Howell.
Now, Hobart's not fancy. You don't expect to see anything outlandish. They usually run right off tackle with their big backs. That big back attack we talked about, Malcolm Johnson and Grabzik, very tough to stop.
Give us up the middle, pickup of about 3 yards. Pirate defense is led there by number 43, Mike Casper. You got Clark on the line, also Doug Downs. But the heart of that defense, Greg Bowie, the middle linebacker, number 55. And then defensive backs, Jamel Williams, Troy Gill. 2 guys with a lot of speed. Williams just a freshman and already impressing this Pirate coaching staff, getting a start just as a freshman.
I think Doug Downs, the right defensive tackle, made that last stop on Josh Manford, who had 3 yards.
Does That's going to back it up 5 yards. We'll await the official call. It is procedure against the Hobart Brickies. It looked like that right side, Russ Fox over there moving a little bit. So, Mark, I know we didn't get a chance to allude to this earlier, but what do you see as some of the keys in this ball game for the Hobart Brickies?
Well, we saw it in third down when Merrillville had the ball, their ability to get outside on Hobart. As for the Brickies, they want to be able to establish the run. A tough situation here, second and long. Passing situation, definitely.
Knight rolling out right. Knight's got a man open. Spot nets number 34.
Manfred.
Josh Manfred. Manfred picks up the first down and more, being knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line of Merrillville. So right away, play action pass. Knight going up top to Manfred for the first down. A big gain there.
Looks like they isolated the running back, trying to be covered by the wide receiver. Jamel Williams got really turned around. Did not look good on that play at all. Manfred was wide open. Gain of 25 yards.
Rick Knight brings him up to the line. Barking on instructions. The pitch there, number 47.
Turley.
That's Ryan Turley. Turley is met.
And a little rough stuff from Greg Mahoy. Nothing serious.
You can guarantee this ball game a lot on the line tonight. Both teams fired up. Something you didn't see in the pregame show. The Brickies came out just fired up. Everyone tooting their horn. Everyone on their feet over here. So they're fired up. Merrillville came over about 6 o'clock tonight with a caravan, and they are fired up. They know the importance of this ball game because many of these guys have never had a chance to win a dueling conference championship. He gave us the second back through. That's number 49, Malcolm Johnson. Johnson, a 6 foot, 195-pound running back. He's a senior and a real mainstay for the Hobart Brickies on offense.
And you know, quietly in that first series, what they did was pass to set up the run. They threw the big pass on second down, and now I would think they would get back into the grinding it out and off tackle.
They'll bring up 3rd and 4. Ball just inside the 40-yard line.
This is a passing down for a lot of teams, but for Hobart, it's a run down because they figure to go forward on 4th down as well.
That's Manfred in motion. Knight back to pass.
Screen.
Setting up the screen beautifully. But he is met hard there by number 32, Rick Mayersky. Mayersky put the kibosh to that one. That was number 47, Ryan Turley, the intended target. And Mayersky coming up from his linebacker spot, making the tackle there. By the way, Mayersky playing for Vandermolen, who started last week at that strong linebacker position. Coach Rick Wimmer from Merrillville wanting to get a little bit more speed and size in that defensive line for Merrillville Pirates.
You know, Hobart showed some respect for Merrillville there. Instead of grinding it out on 3rd and 4 and 4th and 4, they tried to pass, and Mayersky shut it down.
Burrill with the kick,
that's a good
angling
kick
for the left sideline, or
good
rather
kick.
right sideline. It's bouncing, and it's going to be down there at about the 3-yard line. So Craig Burrell, a backup quarterback, just a junior, nails a gorgeous punt down inside the 5-yard line at about the 3.
Merrillville in difficult straits here. They will not be able to get too outlandish down here in their own territory. I know they'd like to throw on 1st down to loosen up the Hobart defense, but you can't throw on 1st down from your own 3, I would not think.
Well, we'll find out. One play that the Pirates have been working on during the week is a fullback option, so possibly look for that to happen tonight. Gill with the give. That's Mayersky, or rather Jamil Williams. Williams getting out near the 10-yard line.
He lost the ball, but I think they said the play was down. The runner was down.
Now, this is the 3rd time that we've seen that freshman Williams, and both of us are thoroughly impressed with this young freshman. He's only going to get better for the Pirates.
Oh, definitely. He doesn't start as fast as some of the really great backs, but the acceleration is tremendous. And, you know, that start can be worked on, you know, with a little training maybe during the track season, too. He has such great speed and such great acceleration. You combine that with a quick start, he'll be devastating in the future.
The give again is to Williams, and Williams has a hole, busting it over out to the 25-yard line. Jamil Williams following his blockers nicely. A big gain out to the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Merrillville Pirates.
You know, I don't know whether he just started a little slow there or whether he was reading the block. He made a nice cutback. The play looked like it was headed over left guard, and he cut it back over right guard.
Led there by the right guard, Todd Pasca, also the right tackle leading the way. Scott Moore, 6'3", 208-pound senior. So the Merrillville offensive line, it's a big offensive line, and I think tonight that's where the game's going to be won, is in the trenches.
Mayersky.
Pickup of a couple yards, wrestled down there, and on the tackle, number 77, Keith Joy. 6 foot, 230-pound tackle. But it's pickup of a couple yards.
Nice running up the middle so far by the Pirates.
Second down and about 7 for a first.
Jeff Galka into the wide receiver. He's at the bottom of your screen, number 86.
I formation. Brickie showing blitz. That's Williams on the pitch out. Williams, he is met, stacked up there. No pickup. In on the tackle, number 60, Brad Ball. And there was a fumble. Williams coughing the ball up.
Grabsek made the hit. I have to admit, I didn't see the fumble.
The one thing that Merrillville coach Rick Wimmer did not want to happen, the big play. And already the Hobart Brickies coming up with a big play right there. They take over 1st and 10.
That's a killer
deep
right
into
there.
Merrillville territory on the 30.
No complaint from Merrillville, so obviously it was a fumble with 4:52 left in the period. I did not see who got the recovery there. And again, Hobart was so keyed on the wide play. It looks like they're so keyed on the wide plays that they're giving up a little up the middle, but they're definitely stopping the wide plays there, and they get a big break, get a little luck there. And I think we have an equipment timeout here.
That is the call, equipment timeout.
Grabsek is checking his
31 Dave Grabchik having problems. They're going to check things out right there.
Now, Hobart has won these games the last 2 years. 24-14 here 2 years ago, 27-20 last year. 3 years ago, Merrillville got the victory 13-11 at Hobart, and I think that's the only time in 12 seasons, I believe, that Merrillville has beaten Hobart.
Rick Knight barking out instructions.
Johnson.
Give us to Malcolm Johnson. Johnson going over left side, pickup of about 6 yards. That'll push the ball inside the 25-yard line, bring up 2nd and 4.
Yeah, that's what I expected to see when they had a 3rd down 4 on the last possession. I was a little surprised that they went to the pass. This time, the solid run picks up almost 6. And they can do pretty much whatever they want on 2nd down.
Clock is moving. Inside 4 minutes to go here. First quarter action. The Hobart Brickies looking to strike first. Ball in the 24-yard line.
He may have a 1st down. I think that's Josh Manfred again.
Manfred going over left side again. Near the 1st down. Let's wait for the official call. Just a little bit short. That'll bring up 3rd down and about 1.5 feet for the 1st.
Good strong play by Manfred. He's only 160 pounds, but it looked like he was stopped about the 22, and he was able to cut outside and at least get within reaching distance of the 1st down. They do not have it.
3rd down and about 1.5 feet to go for the 1st. Look for the quarterback keeper. Little miss handoff there, but Malcolm Johnson pulling over left side picks up the 1st down. Knight and Johnson have a little problem with the handoff there, but Johnson holds on, picks up the 1st.
This is very tough. You know, you have to put Hobart into a situation where they have to go 60, 70 yards to make a touchdown because they're not a big play team. But if you give them the ball at the 30, it's very tough to keep them off the scoreboard, and that's the task Merrillville has now. 1st and 10 for the Brickies from the 17, first quarter and no score.
Game has been pretty much what we expected. Both teams going to run the ball a lot this evening and grind it out there in the trenches.
Manfred.
Manfred.
Big hole.
Going up the middle. Manfred pickup of about 5 yards. I'll bring up the 2nd and 5.
I saw the opener against Lou Wallace on tape, and the Hobart line just was not opening the holes like they are tonight. I would think that Lou Wallace and Merrillville probably have comparable defenses, so I think you can judge the improvement of the Hobart offensive front by how many yards they kick out in this game. So far, pretty good.
Merrillville Pirates have definitely improved from their season opening loss against Crown Point. They've reeled off 4 straight victories, or rather 5 straight victories.
Keep it.
That's Knight, but we got a flag down. Knight's hit hard there, stopped at about the 11-yard line. And on the stop, number 26, that's Tom Epilopoulos coming up from his defensive back spot.
I would have to think that was some kind of illegal block. I didn't see the sign.
Penalty is against the Brickies, so that'll back him up. Clipping on number 28, that's Steve Grabczyk. Grabick with the clip, so that'll back him up and bring up the second down and long yardage. Ball backed up all the way to the 29-yard line. Third down, long yardage for the Hobart Brickies.
No, it would be second down because of the penalty.
That's correct. I apologize for that.
No need.
We're trying to watch this game because our monitors up here on top have gone out. So we're trying to battle our way through this. We've got 2 radio stations next to us, so you don't think this ball game's important? Everybody and their brother is out to this ball game.
I can't complain. I got in free and I came late.
Rick Knight rolling out right. He's got his receiver.
Now, was he out of bounds? They're going to give him the catch.
Boy, they are.
Ryan
Number 43, Rob Pavlik.
Now, 42 for Merrillville. Ed Pendowski has a good complaint. I think Turley had stepped out of bounds, but I don't think the referee saw it.
Boy, the Brickies getting a break there. Ball spotted at the 15-yard line, but it looked like Turley had stepped out of bounds before making the catch. They're going to take a timeout. Hobart Brickies are. We're going to come back. 1:39 to go here. First quarter action with Hobart Brickies threatening to score. After the penalty call, the Hobart Brickies coming right back, and it was Knight spotting Ryan Turley open along the right sideline. Big pickup. That brings up the third and about 8 for the first. But
Rick Knight 3 of 3 for 38 yards. But you'd have to call him a little lucky on that last one. For one, that the deflection went right to Turley, and for another, that Turley wasn't called for having his foot out of bounds.
Ball spotted at the 15-yard line. That's Manfred in motion. Knight rolling left. He's got Manfred open under coverage, but Manfred can't make the reception, so that'll bring up fourth down, and that'll bring on the punting crew.
I think Troy Gill ran right up Manfred's back, but I don't think the ball was catchable. I think the whole play was out of bounds, and that's why the referee let it go.
Bill Monopoulos is going to try the field goal here. Monopoulos, 5'10", 155-pound sophomore.
3 field goals this year of 18, 21, and 27 yards for Billy Manilopoulos. Had a little trouble with extra points so far, only 12 out of 17.
Ball's going to be spotted at the 21-yard liner. That'll make it a 31-yard attempt. Monopoulos, the kick.
No.
And it's short. Field goal attempt is no good, so the Hobart Brickies looking to strike first, cannot convert on the field goal.
I'm not sure if Gallegos didn't deflect that.
So at a minute 29 to go here, first quarter action, no score yet. Troy Gill's going to bring him out, try and get something going. Gallegos and Majerski are going to be the backfield, trying to get another player on the field.
Merrillville offensively this year, 1,465 yards in 6 games. Only 305 passing, but 1,160 on the ground.
Gill bringing him up. That's Majerski and Gallegos, the backfield. To give the fake give to Gallegos. Gill rolling out. He's got Vandermolen wide open. Vandermolen getting out over the 35-yard line near the 37. First down.
That's what they did last week against Andrean. Throw the ball on first down.
Last week the Pirates just crushed the Andrean 59ers. 34-6 was the final. And actually, it wasn't even that close, if you could possibly say that. First and 10, ball on the 37-yard line. Minute 15 to go here, first quarter action.
First pass completion for Troy Gill, who was 6 of 11 last week, 6 of 12 for 107 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Man in motion. That's Jamie Taylor. They give us to Gallegos. Gallegos squirting out right side. Met, hit hard, but picked up about 3 yards, so that'll bring up 2nd and 7. There you get a good shot, the Merrillville coach.
Good hit coming up from the secondary. That was Matt Roper, the senior cornerback. He met Gallegos head on. Actually, Gallegos put his head down, which I think kind of made him a little bit easy to drop there. He kind of just decided that was going to be it, so he was going to deliver the blow right there.
They only gave Gallegos a pickup of 2 yards, so that'll bring up 2nd and 8. Again, Mayersky and Gallegos, tail of the tandem. The give is to Gallegos. Gallegos following his blockers, but he is hit hard. Met about the line of scrimmage, maybe a pickup of 2 yards.
Grabsek was the first man there, number 31, the 230-pound linebacker.
Also there, number 73, Chris Ray, defensive end spot, 6'2", 190 pounds. And boy, they grown big over here in Hobart.
You know, it's very much obvious that they're setting up something for later, but I'm surprised at the tight sets for Merrillville so far. It's going to make it tough to grind out that yards on the ground.
That's the end of the first quarter. Merrillville Pirates, nothing. Hobart Brickies, nothing. They're both trying to get something going here. We'll be back right after this timeout on U.S. Cable Channel 33 Sports. Yeah. Anything we can do up here? Okay. Because I don't know if you guys have graphics up, who you got shots of or anything. So, did I sound strange? All right, we're back here at the Brickie Bowl. Jim Rainbolt along with Mark Smith. Second quarter action. First quarter, pretty much all Hobart grinding out on the ground, but neither team has scored as of yet. Taylor in motion. Fake give, and he is hit hard. Number 73, Chris Ray, coming up from his defensive end spot, makes the tackle on Troy Gill, throws him for a huge loss all the way back inside the 30-yard line.
I think they assumed that they had run enough plays up the middle to hold the Hobart defensive line, but the defensive end there just did not go for any kind of play fake. He headed right for Troy Gill. The execution of that play was a little slow, and it ended up in a big sack for 10 yards. Fourth down.
Big, huge loss brings up 4th down along 18. Bad snap, mishandled. Number 86, that's Jeff Galka. Galka was the punter, couldn't handle the low snap. So the Hobart Brickies, again, another break. Taking over 1st and 10 on the Merrillville Pirate 20-yard line.
I'll tell you, Jim, Merrillville just cannot do this. Too many mistakes. That doesn't go down as a turnover, but it might as well be one. Hobart will pick up the ball at only 20 yards away from the goal line. Pirate defense has been their strength all season long. They've only allowed 7 touchdowns. Maybe they can come up with the big plays again here.
It's Ryan Turley in motion. Knight under pressure. He is hit. Does get the ball off, but incompleted pass. Ryan Turley, the intended target. Turley coming over in motion, but the Merrillville Pirates putting a little pressure on him. Doug Downs and Joe Clark coming up.
Great job by Knight to get rid of the ball. He could have taken a huge loss there. That was virtually the same play that Gill ran and was sacked on 2 plays ago, but Knight got rid of it.
Number 83, Jason and Salomo coming in the ballgame now for the Brickies.
Rick Knight, 28 of 64, 366 yards, 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. For a first-time quarterback, that's not great, but that's good.
That's Turney in motion. Knight rolling under pressure. Has his man. Incompleted pass, but Merrillville well defending on that play. Troy Gill back there in his defensive back spot.
I'm not sure what Knight did there. I'd like to give Rick the benefit of the doubt and say that he just threw that away because really there was very little chance for anybody to catch that. I think maybe he did. He may have just thrown that out of bounds.
That'll bring up 3rd and 10 inside just over 11 minutes to go here. First half action.
Again, Jim, Hobart showing respect for the Merrillville defense. Normally they get the ball to 20, they just grind it out into the end zone. Here they throw 2 passes.
Rick Knight bringing the troops up. 3rd and 10. Ball still on the 20-yard line.
Wonder if he sees some kind of draw or screen here.
Knight back to pass. Man open over the middle.
Oh, great catch.
That's number 85, Joe Casco. Casco making the reception across the middle.
Well, I don't know how he held on to that one. That's almost a first down.
That'll bring up 4th down and about 1.5 feet for the first. Hobart Brickie fans trying to get him to go for it.
I don't think there's much question. There's not much question they're going to go for it. Hobart does not kick field goals on 4th and 1. This is Hobart, come on.
They bring in the big boys in the backfield.
Watch 32, the linebacker Mayersky. He's lined up on the strong side on the outside. Watch him come across the line. Let's see what he can do.
Give this to Johnson. Johnson's got a hole. He's going in for the touchdown. Malcolm Johnson, number 49, pulling over right side, following his tackle, squirts it in for the TD. And the Hobart Brickies at 10-16 in the first half have drawn first blood. They now lead it 6-0 on a beautiful executed play from the Hobart Brickies.
Really was. Malcolm Johnson's 4th touchdown of the year. They ran right at Mayersky there, and Rick seemed to favor the inside as if he thought the play was going to be inside. He might have been influenced, and really Malcolm Johnson ran right over his position.
Manilopoulos the point after, and it's good. So the Hobart Brickies now lead it 7-0.
You know, they just couldn't keep giving the ball away. They gave it away at the 30. They gave it away at the 20. You know that Hobart's eventually going to score. The key now is that it's only 7 points, and Merrillville is still very, very much in the game.
The big key now is, can the Merrillville Pirates? We'll have to wait and see. Inside 10.5 minutes to go here, first half action.
Only 49 yards total offense for Merrillville in that first period.
Annapolis getting set to kick off. Gallegos and Williams back deep to receive for the Pirates.
And again, I don't want to beat it into the ground. It's an easy second guess. But it seems like Merrillville's sets are very tight, as if they feel they can power the ball right down Hobart's throat, something that is rarely done. I got to think that's going to change later on, though.
Manilopoulos with the kick. A good booming kick. Sends Williams deep to his goal line. Williams bringing it up, though. Little running room, but he is hit hard there. Number 74, Mike Bell, on specialty teams making the hit. Williams got it out near the 21-yard line, though.
That was a great kick. That was inside the 5. You know, for a high school kicker to drop the ball inside the 5 on the kickoff, excellent. Got to be a big night for Jamel Williams. This is probably the first game he's ever seen in the Brickie Bowl, much less played in it.
Well, only the Valparaiso Vikings have scored on Hobart in the first half this season, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. The pitch there to Williams. Williams trying to get outside, but he is hit.
Great pursuit by Hobart. 6 players out there.
Number 47, Turney, making the initial hit on Williams.
And actually, Williams broke his tackle and was able to pick up 3. You know, again, no one scored on Hobart in the first period, the 7th straight game. In fact, Merrillville, in the last 2 years, Merrillville's the only team to score in the first quarter on Hobart. They scored 12 in last year's game, as you saw earlier.
Again, Troy Gill trying to get something going for the Pirates to give to the first back through. Mayersky is stacked up, hit hard there by that big front defensive line there, led by Don Solis and Rob Paulett.
That's tough. 2nd and 7 at your own 25. A run right up the middle, and all of a sudden it's 3rd and 7. That kind of attack really traditionally does not work on Hobart.
No pickup on that, brings up 3rd and 7. I formation for the Pirates. They give us the first back through. Mayersky again, same play, same result. Mayersky picked up maybe 1.5 feet on that. but nothing more. That'll bring up 4th down and about 6.5 yards for the first.
Now, I'm not sure I understand, but perhaps the field position here is why Coach Wimmer is being so conservative.
Still, do not be surprised if you see that fullback option. The Pirates working on it this week. They will use it, I guarantee you. A good snap, a good kick. Vandermolen getting it off, letting it bounce. Brickie's bringing it up. Gets outside. He's got it. That's Turney. Turney going down left side. Cut back. It's a touchdown. Forget it. Number 47, Ryan Turley. Turley breaking it loose, rumbling for the touchdown. And just like that, the Brickies are on the board again. Make it 13-0 now.
Little Ryan Turley just put his head down, broke a couple of tackles, stayed on his feet, and after that, you just knew they weren't going to get him because Hobart had more people down there blocking than Merrillville had covering. 13-0, and the Brickies break on top big in the crucial game.
Turley returned that about 45 yards, or checked that about 55 yards.
Yeah, maybe more than that. Maybe a lot more, closer to 65.
Monopolis, the point after is good. It's 14-0. Hobart Brickies now starting to put the hurt on the Merrillville Pirates. We're going to take a quick break and come back right after this. Less than 8 minutes to go here in the first half, and already the Hobart Brickies have notched twice, lead it 14-0. There's the kickoff, sending Williams deep. Williams going to bring it out again. Following the wedge, Williams going up the middle, trying to squirt outside. Still on his feet. Williams getting out near the 25-yard line.
No fumble. He almost dropped it, but I believe he was down before the ball came loose. But Jamel's going to have to hold the ball a little tighter than that. When 2 or 3 guys are hitting him.
The Pirate offense, as you alluded to, seems a bit tentative right now. They have got to shake it off and try and get something going here before the half.
Well, that last series was key. 2nd and 7, 3rd and 7. They run, short yardage plays up the middle, and it did not work. Now they're in a situation where if they try to throw on 1st or 2nd down, Hobart's really going to be coming with the pass rush.
Jeff Holbrook and Santiago are the wide receivers to give us the first back through. Mayersky, and he is stopped hard.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't really blame the coach now because you're in a situation where Hobart was really, I'm sure, expecting the pass on 1st down 14-0.
Gain of about a yard. They'll bring up 2nd and 9.
We saw the screen from the Brickies earlier. I wonder if we'll see it from the Pirates here. That's the kind of thing that slows down the big pass rush, the hard charging line.
Gill on the quarterback keeper, rolling out. He is hit hard there by number 47, Ryan Turley. Turley leveling him. Gill pick up of about 3 yards. That'll bring up 3rd down and a long yardage.
Well, coming into the game, you would figure that play there might be make or break for Merrillville and for Hobart. The wide speed, the wide side of the field, the quarterback pitch, you got fast people running it, and Hobart obviously has worked long and hard against that option this week.
3rd and 5. Let's see what they do. Full house backfield for the Pirates.
Trap. No, he faked it.
Gill, no doing there for the Hobart Brickies. Gill is hit hard there. Thrown for a loss. In on the tackle, number 62. That's Russ Fox, 6'2", 205-pound senior guard.
Well, it might be time to call a little miniature team meeting on the sideline for Merrillville, especially with the offensive unit, because Hobart is shredding them right now.
Third punt of the ball game for the Pirates.
Watch Ryan Turley.
Low kick. Turley letting it bounce. He's going to let it go out of bounds. It's going to be down there by the Merrillville Pirates at about the 36-yard line. That's where the Hobart Brickies are going to take over 1st and 10. At 5:37 to go here, first half action. The Hobart Brickies have already put 2 scores on the board. They lead it 14-0.
Yeah, we should have mentioned that the touchdown by Turley, 5'9", 165, just a junior. That was his first touchdown of the year, first points at all. And I had that punt return for 65 yards. I'm not exactly sure, but I think he picked it up originally at the 35-yard line.
Knights bringing him up to the field. Clock is moving, inside 5.5 to go. That's Turley in motion.
Merrillville 6-man line, trap up the middle.
They give to the first back through. Pickup of maybe 1.5 yards. We'll give him 2 yards.
Doug Downs, Greg Mahoy. Very short yardage there.
Mahoy coming up from his middle linebacker spot to make the tackle.
Hobart defensively has allowed only 31 points all season, and they have allowed 457 yards rushing.
Don Howell now in his 24th year as head coach at Hobart. He is a legend here, folks. 210 victories. Incredible.
At a school with the enrollment level that really shouldn't be winning like that.
That's Knight rolling out left. He's got his man wide open, intercepted by number 28, Williams. Williams returning it up the sideline. Williams cutting back across the middle. We've got a flag down.
Wow.
It looks like it could be a block above the waist, possibly a clip against the Merrillville Pirates, but Williams coming up with the intercept.
A healthy tackle by 230-pound Marty Souls on Jamel Williams, but a great play by Williams. He outran the ball to make the interception.
That's the call, a clip against the Pirates. But either way, the Merrillville Pirates coming up with a big play right there. Jamel Williams with the interception.
Boy, they needed that too. Had Hobart scored anything there, even a field goal, it might have put this game almost out of reach. 17 points, more than 2 touchdowns.
Well, the Pirates are going to take over 1st and 10 on their own 40-yard line, and they definitely have got to try and get something going here before the half ends. Just over 4.5 minutes to go here, first half action. This one, folks, is for the Duneland Conference title. The winner would move to 5-0 in the conference. The loser would drop to 4-1. And while it's not over for all intents and purposes, it is over.
Yeah, the winner would get at least a half share.
That's right.
And would probably nail it down next week.
Give us to Mayersky up the middle. And again, the Pirates electing to go at the heart of the Hobart defense, straight up the middle. Mayersky a pickup of about 2 yards. Mayersky stopped there by number 85, Joe Casco. Also in on the stop, Don Solis and Rob Pavelka.
Merrillville averages about 240 yards per rushing per game this season. 289 yards last week against Andrean.
Again, the I formation being used by the Pirates. They give this to Gallegos. Gallegos has a little bit of running room, but he is stacked up there. In on the stop, number 86. That's Greg Dukic.
I thought that was a pretty well-run play, and had it not been for the defensive player there, Joe Casco, I think Gallegos might have broken that for a nice run. It looked like good deception. It appeared for all the world like a passing play.
That'll bring up 3rd down, about 5 yards for the first. Interesting call here for the Pirates. They've not converted these here tonight. They've got to try and get something going. Gill rolling right. Had a little running room, but he spots his man wide open. That's number 31, Jeff Holbrook. Holbrook out over the 40 to about the 30. Brickies all up on the line.
Yeah, 8 men within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage there.
It's Mayersky in motion. Leaping up to make the catch. The grab made it about the 28-yard line. Another first down for the Merrillville Pirates.
I'm not sure that all of those were
that carry. Brings up.
It's hit 2 on this drive. I would think he'd throw it in the end zone.
Gill again rolling up. Lost maybe a yard on it.
He wanted to throw it. Russ Fox, I think, made the defensive play, number 6.
They don't want anything to get away here. 3rd and 2. Things over. Coach Rick Wimmer coming out to talk with his QB, Troy Gill.
This drive began at the Merrillville 40. Now a 3rd down 3 at the Hobart Tough.
If you can believe it, this is the 7th week of high school football. Next week, we're going to wrap things up. Lake Central at Munster. Now, that game is subject to change depending on how the exciting playoff package lined up for you. We are going the Bulldogs at the Hornets.
I'm anxious to see that one.
That's going to be a great ball game. Both.
The crime that two teams of that caliber have to go head-to-head in the first round. It's great for U.S. Cable,
right.
but it's really not good for the teams because when you play a season the way Crown Point has, and especially the way Lew Wallace has, you deserve to get a softer opponent in the first round of a 6-round tournament. It's just not fair to match up the real good teams in the first round.
Well, we've got an exciting playoff picture point. The Bulldogs, depending on who is left in the area, and could possibly bring you 5 ball games in the playoffs.
Merrillville's got to be thinking 2 downs here. We don't just have 1 down to make a trap. Grabsack threw him back.
He did pick up a yard, though, so that'll bring up the 4th down. Gill had lost on the previous play.
Boy, Jim, you need 2 yards. You could make a field goal, but what good does it do you?
Offense, no huddle on this one. Inside a minute 15 to go here, first half. Galego's just bulling it over, loses his mouthpiece, and he is stacked up.
No question about it.
He's in on the stop.
Let's get some numbers. 88.
Eric Kuchenberg in from his linebacker spot was one of
73, David Vislowski.
A host of Hobart Brickies, and they made a defensive stand that could be the play of the ball game so far.
Big stop for the Hobart defense. You know, you can question that call by Merrillville, but I really don't. Yards. They got 1 on 3rd down, 1 on 4th down, and I also like the no huddle. It should have worked, but the Hobart defense was just ready.
Had all the right elements, but just couldn't put it on the board there. Quick, fast-paced first half. A lot of things going on. This clock's been moving. We're inside a minute to go here. First half action. Seems like people have just started settling in their seats.
And I'll tell you what, Merrillville, not a high-scoring team. They only average 18 points a game. Hobart already with a 14-point lead. The Pirates are in real trouble going into the second half.
2nd and 3 yards for the first. Knight may just elect to step down on this one. No, he's going forward. Knight near a first down following his offensive line. And Hobart Brickie's not going to give anything to anybody. Pulling it straight forward. Call the timeout. They're going to move the chains, check the length, see how much they've got to go for a first down. From this advantage point, it looks like he is very close. Possibly just inches away.
You see Hobart stirring it up on the ground. They only have about 60 or 70 yards so far. In the last 5 games rushing for Hobart, 249 versus Valpo, 228 versus Andran, 246 against LaPorte, 284 versus Chesterton, 247 last week against Portage. They've averaged 250 yards rushing per game the last 5 weeks.
First down for Rick Knight and the Hobart Brickies. 16 seconds to go here. First half action. Hobart, it's been all the Brickies so far, 14-0. They lead it here.
I'm kind of surprised they're going to run another play. We're down inside 5 seconds.
Rick Knight rolling out, going for it all.
It's caught
by
no
number
time left.
84, Jason Pruitt appeared to be the intended target. Pruitt did make the reception, went out of bounds, and that's going to end the first half with the Hobart Brickies leading it 14-0. And if you're Wick Rimmer, you've got to try and get your Merrillville Pirates fired up at the half. We're going to come back, bring you some halftime stats right after this. Welcome back to Brickie Bowl, where the song and dance here is Poison the Pirates. A lot of the banners hanging around here on the fences. You don't think this game is important, you don't think it's intense? Boy, packed house over here, Merrillville sidelines, and the Brickies, as always, well represented. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Brickie Bowl. I'm Jim Rainbolt, along with Mark Smith. And the first half, you have to say, it's been all Hobart.
Well, I think pretty much. You know, even when you look at the stats, 136 yards unofficially for the Brickies, 74 for the Merrillville Pirates. But really the big play is not included in those stats. It was the punt return by Turley that went all the way, 65 yards for the touchdown. That made it 14-0. Really, with the score 7-0, Merrillville is still in the game. They gave up the 1 touchdown on the turnover. Hobart has not really driven the ball at all. They've only had 11 rushing plays. They haven't had any drive of longer than 7 plays. But second quarter, 4 plays, 20 yards with the touchdown by Malcolm Johnson from 11 yards out. Then immediately after that, 3 plays, and I thought it was key. 2nd down, 7, Mayersky stopped for no gain. 3rd down, 7, again run into the line, stop for just 2 yards. The punt, and Turley runs it back very quickly there in a span of, well, I would guess just 3 minutes. 10-16 to 7:56, both touchdowns. 3-minute span, the 2 touchdowns there that put Merrillville in a king-size hole. I cannot remember the last time someone came back from 2 touchdowns on Hobart. I believe it was Chesterton in the Brickie Bowl last year. I take it back. The upset by Chesterton in the Brickie Bowl, they came from 17 points behind, I think, but it's rarely done.
Well, talking with Merrillville coach Rick Wimmer this week, and he was very concerned about the big play because he said his Pirates could not come up with a big play. He just didn't think they had the Brickies could come up with a big play, and they have already a couple of them, as you had alluded to, with the Turley run back on the punt for the touchdown. Now, Merrillville did come up with an interception. Jamel Williams picking it off, and Merrillville had something going.
Right.
They got it down inside the 20-yard line, and actually they had a couple plays to pick up a first down after Gallegos went 9 yards on the first play. It brought up 2nd and 1. They lost yardage. 3rd and 1, lost yardage. 4th down, they went for it and just couldn't.
Very excellent field position at that point. Like you say, 2nd down 2, and they eventually do not get the first down. I have to say it, I'm a little disappointed in the conservativeness of the Merrillville attack. Only 3 passes. I have only 3 passes for Merrillville in the first half. They completed them all.
Right.
Gill was sacked 2 other times, so they tried to pass that virtually anyone is going to go into a game and only pass 5 times a half against Hobart and be able to win them.
Well, as we found out after looking through some stats this week, to beat the Hobart Brickies, you've got to pass the ball. They do not get 20 or 260 yards to Lou Wallace in the first game of the year. They haven't given up 100 yards to anybody since then. Actually, 11-yard rush. The Hobart Brickies have been rock solid in the last 4 ball games here. And 5 if you include Portage.
22 carries, 29 yards tonight.
Right.
Although 10 of those were lost on the punt snap. That goes as a 10-yard loss for the rushing team. So really 39 yards they've gained on the ground, and that's, you hate to say it, but that's what you figured to get against Hobart.
Right.
You've got to do the damage through the air.
Well, if the Merrillville Pirates want to try and get back in this ballgame, they've got to put it up and air it out. What do you say? Go into the huddle here. Go into the locker room and tell me what you say to get your troops back into this ballgame.
You have to stand in there. Very tough situation. You're down. You're on the road. I'm sure some of your players are a little worried to get back in it.
All right, we're going to find out. Set with kicker, electing to let it bounce, taking it at the 15-yard line.
Is that Manfred?
Yagi with the stop, but the Hobart Brickies are going to take over first.
But then he picked it up and really almost broke a big gainer down the sidelines there.
2 losses and 2 ties.
First half to 74 for the Merrillville Pirates.
1st and 10 yards. In on the stop, Williams.
Pickup of 5. Leading rusher in the first half for the Brickies was Malcolm Johnson, the big tailback. 5 carries for 32 yards.
They really hit the weights in the off season, really promote strong physical fitness here at Hobart, and they always put them out real big over here.
Johnson again.
By number 22 as well, Randy Parpot, number 23. They'll bring up 3rd down and 3. 11:14 to go here, 3rd quarter action. It's been all Hobart so far. They lead at 14-0 on a 60-yard punt for a touchdown.
Rick Knight in the first half, 5 of
Knight fakes the give, and he is stacked up there by number 79. That's Joe Clark, 6'2", 220. Just a solid.
Drag him down. I'm using those Keith Jackson phrases this week. He hog-tied him.
Galate, Merrillville backing off it. Hobart Brickies getting a nice little bounce there. It's going to be down to the 35-yard line. Troy Gill bringing the troops out for the Pirates.
Position of the night, I think, for Merrillville, and this is only their own 35. So total of shutouts in the last 5 or 6 years. It's incredible how many teams they are able to shut out totally.
Oh, we've got movement.
What happened there?
Taken away because there was movement on the defensive line. He moves away from center, fumbled the ball right because Gill had movement from Hobart. Gill, another break for the Hobart Brickies.
The ball got snapped and then just laid on the ground. I'm not sure what was happening there.
The pitch outside. He's got running room. Number 35, Josh Manfred. Manfred going out about the 20-yard line. for the Hobart Brickies.
Quick pitch outside, man for the 160-pound junior halfback, and Merrillville's back on their heels now. If this were the first half, you might call a timeout here to try to get yourself together, but really you can't afford to use a timeout in a situation like this in the second half.
1st and 10, Hobart Brickies on the Merrillville Pirate 20-yard line. Again, knocking at the door, looking to get something going here. They give again the big fullback. Johnson going over. Tackle down there, game-saving, touchdown tackle saving there. Doug Downs in on the stop, but Johnson a big pickup all the way down to the 6-yard line.
Boy, and Merrillville really emotionally down now. It's going to be tough to keep him out of the end zone. Watch them line it up with the power right with Brad Ball there. You see the tackle, that's Dan Slowest, the tight end, and they run right.
Again, going over right side. Pickup of maybe 1.5 yards.
Of course, it's easy to me say, look at it there, and it's tougher to stop it.
Now, you folks, there's number 17 on the field. Hobart's got 2 number 17s, and not quite sure exactly why, but 2 number 17s on the team, and I can guarantee you this night.
Misdirection.
That's number 47, Turley.
Oh, look at the speed of Merrillville, but the cut back to the 1-yard line. Boy, great job there by 33, Victor Garcia. Looked like he was fooled, but he had the speed out there to compensate.
Turley had a little bit of running room and could have gone over, but as you said, a nice touchdown saving tackle made there by the Pirates. I'll bring up 3rd and 1. Actually, we'll call it about 1.5 feet, 2 feet for the first.
Okay, watch Hobart on the right side with 60, 72, and then the tight end number 86. That's Greg Dukic.
Watch Johnson. Johnson's got the
They
carry.
run right.
Johnson goes over for the touchdown. Malcolm Johnson just pulling his way over right side for the touchdown. And this has the makings of a romp as the Hobart Brickies put 6 more on the board. They now lead it 20-0 as they come on. Bill Manilopoulos coming on for the point after, looking to make it 21-0.
Again, you know, you don't have to be a high school graduate to figure out that in a key situation, Hobart's going to line up with the tight end on the right, and they're going to run right. They do it consistently for years and years, and it's tough to stop.
The kick by Manilopoulos is good. Put it on the board, extra point, 21-0. Hobart Brickies blowing out the Merrillville Pirates. And this one's starting to look like a romp. We're going to take a quick break and be back right after this on U.S. Cable Channel 33 Sports. After the touchdown score, the Hobart Brickies looking again to kick off. It's Gallegos and Williams back deep to receive. This one's going to Gallegos. He fields it as 8-yard line, bringing up the side. Gallegos cutting back, getting out over the 20-yard line. A nice return there by Gallegos for the Merrillville Pirates, where they will take over 1st and 10 just over their 20-yard line.
That touchdown drive was 5 rushing plays, 35 yards. Again, you really can't blame the Merrillville defense, although they were on the field when the touchdown was scored. But the touchdown drives tonight have been 20, 35, and of course the punt return. Hobart has not had a long sustained drive. They haven't had to.
Troy Gill has got to try and get something going here for the Merrillville Pirates. Down 21-0, and it's still early in the 3rd quarter. They cannot afford not to get something on the board here. I formation for the Pirates. That's Mayersky in motion. To give us to Williams. Williams squirting out right side. Hit behind line of scrimmage, but did fall forward. Pick up maybe 1.5 yards. That'll bring up 2nd and about 8 for the first.
Matt Roper tripped up Gallegos there, but he had good balance. Still was able to get a couple of yards.
Clock is moving, approaching the 7-minute mark here.
I think you got to really throw the ball down the field now. You know, you don't want to be embarrassed, but at 21-0 with 7 minutes to play in the third quarter, you are being embarrassed. So, you know, 21-0 or 42-0 really is irrelevant. You're going to have to start throwing the ball down the field.
Jamie Taylor, the lone wide receiver. Gill rolling out right.
Good play.
Connects there. Gill to number 81 with the reception. Nice pickup there for the Pirates. First down as Gill rolls out, spotting his receiver open downfield.
Tough play. Troy Gill rolling to his left. He's a right-handed thrower. You know that's always the toughest way to do it. Second catch of the night for
Pete Santiago.
And he now has 31 yards.
First and 10. Ball just over the 35-yard line, calling about the 36. Gill again rolling out right side this time. He's got time. Spots his man, just overthrows him. Gill threw it up a little bit too high. Holbrook, the intended receiver on that play.
That's not a bad play. You try to whip off a dozen there for the first down. You don't get it. But incomplete passes also stop the clock. Failed running plays do not. So, and you've got to start thinking about that too. When there's only 6 minutes to play in the third period, you're down 3 touchdowns.
As we talked about, though, the Pirates have got to start airing it out, trying to get something going, trying to come up with that big play that Coach Wimmer says they can't. So we'll have to wait and see. Still, I would not be surprised if you don't see the fullback out.
They haven't done much with the screen pass at all. Gill seems to be calling some kind of audible there with 8 Hobart men up within 3 yards of the line.
I formation. The give is to Williams. Williams hit behind the line of scrimmage, falls forward. Picked up maybe a yard, if that.
Chris Ray on the penetration. He didn't make the tackle, but he forced Jamel Williams to slow up so the tackle could be made.
Also in on the stop, number 31, Dave Grabchick. Put up from his linebacker spot to make the stop as well. No gain on that last play, brings up 2nd and 10. Clock is moving, inside 6 to go here, third quarter.
I would think with that many Hobart players near the line, you might pop the ball right over the middle to your tight end. If you could, as you see there, they really play with only one safety man. And if you can get your tight end out through the defense there, pop it to him a little 5-yard pass, that might be a big completion.
Williams and Mayersky, the setbacks. Gill back to pass, had a man open across the middle. The pass is completed. It's number 31, Jeff Holbrook. Holbrook slicing across the middle. Pick up, nice gain there. Ball out over the 50 to about the 49-yard line. Nice pass there from Gill.
5 of 6 on the night for 75 yards. He's having a good night passing, but he's going to have a lot better night passing the rest of the way, and he's going to have to throw a lot.
Again, I formation. Gill rolling left. Has his man open, out of bounds. That's number 86, Jeff Galka. He was the intended target. The referee right there make the call, said he was juggling as he went out of bounds. So nice pass, but negated by Galka going out.
Juggling it, but I question whether he had 1 or 2 feet in bounds. We cannot see from our vantage point here.
That'll bring up 2nd and 10. Again, I formation being used here by the Pirates. They give this to Williams up the near the 45-yard line.
Trying to stack into that 4-4, which in effect is a passing game. They really don't. When you look at the
third down, obvious passing situation for the Pirates here. Gill again rolling out. He's got his man wide. 88, Eric Kuchenberg, over from his linebacker spot. He got at least knocked him out of bounds.
And for a Merrillville team which had only 4 first downs in the first half, they already have 3 here in the second half. This drive began at the 20.
All right, welcome back to the Brickie Bowl, where the Merrillville Pirates are threatening here. Inside 4.5 to go. The Pirates mounting their first real threat of the evening. Ball just inside the 35-yard line. Gives to Mayerski. Mayerski trying to get out to the outside. Stop there by number 85, Joe Casco. Casco making the stop on Mayerski. Pickup of a couple yards.
This is his first carry of the second half, and he only has 13 yards on 6 carries. Tough going against that Hobart defense, which in effect is set in a 4-4 set, which is probably the toughest set of all to run on.
I'll bring up second down and about 5 for a first. So Mayerski picked up 5 on the last carry. Gill rolling out. Gill's got his man open.
Good
cross
catch.
the middle. Reception made there by number 36.
Well, it's got to be 86.
86, excuse me. Jeff Galka. Galka making the reception on that play. Holbrook bringing in a play now for the Pirates, who are threatening and knocking at the door. 1st and 10 at their Hobart 15-yard line.
You see so much promise in Troy Gill. He's very capable at running to his left and throwing to his right, which is something that a lot of senior quarterbacks have not mastered. He's just a junior.
They gave this to Williams up the middle. Williams picked up a couple yards out to about the 13-yard line. Stop made there by number 77, Keith Joy.
It's funny, Jim. They run the same play with 30 Gallegos and 28 Williams. Jamel looks to cut it back, while Gallegos seems to follow a straighter path. He'll bet numbers on those shutouts as we see Merrillville going in and trying to break the shutout. The last 5 seasons, 58 games, Hobart has shut out 22 teams. That's almost 40%. And of course, that includes Jasper, 31-0 in the 1987 state championship game.
They give again to Williams following Mayerski's block. Williams trying to get outside.
Is that
But
Newcomb?
it's strung out nicely there by the defense. Kevin Newcomb, number 81, defensive end, coming over as the Brickies strung that one out along the line.
Merrillville must get the touchdown here. When the Bulls lead Merrillville 21-0, but the Pirates are inside the 10-yard line.
I'll bring up second and about 4 for the first. Or pardon me, 3rd and 4 for the first.
You're not going to see any field goals here. This is 2-down territory.
Under pressure though, Williams trying to get out. And he cannot do it. He is corralled down there at about the 30-yard line. A big, big loss for the Merrillville Pirates.
Well, they lost 21 yards. You know what he should have done there was throw an incomplete pass.
Yes, Al Beasley coming up, making the stop, throwing him for a huge loss.
I admit it's tough to think of that when you've got 5 guys who are twice your size chasing you. But if he just throws the ball toward anybody in a white shirt, it's an incomplete pass, and they save 21 yards.
I think that's a play that Williams is just a freshman. I think with experience, with time, he is going to make that correct play next time around.
Yeah, I'm not saying try to complete a pass.
Right, exactly.
Just throw it into the ground.
Sure. Well, 4th down. They've got to try and get something on the board here. I formation. Gill back to pass. He's got an arm on him.
Oh,
Got his man wide open. Just overthrown. Number 35, Jamie Taylor. Taylor had burned by everybody signing autographs there in the end zone. He was so wide open, but Gill just overshot him.
I tell you, some of the Hobart coaches are standing on there with their hands on their hips. How did that boy get that wide open on that play? That should have been a touchdown.
Oh, Taylor snuck out there, wide open. All Gill points on the board.
On 4th and goal from the 30, they almost pulled it off. But you'd have to think that pretty much wipes them out here tonight. They're down 3 touchdowns, and Hobart trying to run off the last 73 seconds of the 3rd quarter clock. They're not going to throw the ball much more at this point.
Merrillville needs a turnover here. They need to convert.
Manfred,
pick up of a couple yards. Manfred,
and if that
should just about do it for the 3rd quarter as the clock is ticking down inside 10 seconds to go. Not sure if the Brickies are going to get a play off before the clock expires here for the 3rd quarter. Clock's ticking away, 2-1, and they did not get a play off. That ends the 3rd quarter. Just 12 minutes to go here in the ball game. Dueling conference matchup between the Hobart Brickies. It's been all Hobart. They lead the Merrillville Pirates 21-0. Knight on the keeper. Knight's going to pick up the first down. Pick up of about 6 yards. So Rick Knight showing some athleticism here.
Few years, Merrillville 5-5 last year, 2-8 the year before, 7-2 the year they beat Hobart in 1986. And 85, 9-3, 84, 7-3, a great tradition at Merrillville. They've played the Brickies close the last 4 years, but that has not been the case tonight.
Johnson going up over the middle, found a hole, picked up about 5 yards. So that'll bring up 2nd and 5. Clock still moving, inside 11.5 to go here in the ball game. And it's do or die time for the Merrillville Pirates. They've got to come up with a defensive stop here. Officials timeout. Referees talking something over.
And really from scrimmage, again, Merrillville not beaten that badly, at least not in that quarter. 61 yards for Hobart and 75 for the Merrillville Pirates.
That last stat that you saw talking about the dominance of the Hobart Brickies in the Brickie Bowl, 71 straight victories here at home. And you don't think visiting teams coming in know about that?
Hobart history. You know, have been and still are.
That's Johnson on the carry. Johnson very close to a first down. Johnson going over the right side.
Some of those other Hobart historical notes. Again, 57 regular season games in succession from 1980 to August 29th, 1986, when they lost 14-7 at Lake Central. They've won or shared 10 consecutive Duneland Conference championships. That ended with Portage beating them last year.
Well, with 3rd and a yard to go, the Hobart Brickies want to talk this one over. They don't want anything to get away, so they're going to take a timeout. That means we are going to take a timeout. We'll be back right after this on U.S. Cable, Channel 33. Okay, I would like the news graphic, please. Okay, that's fine. A smart timeout taken here by the Hobart Brickies. 10:48 to go here in the ball game. They lead it 21-0, but they are knocking on the door looking to get more. 3rd down, 1 yard. Hobart not wanting anything to get away. They call timeout to work things over.
Well, situation where you might even have 2 downs here too. With a 21-0 lead, you don't want to punt the ball because on punts the game can turn. Block, punt, punt, return. If they run into a 4th and 1 situation, I remind you this is 3rd and 1, but if they run into a 4th and 1, I wouldn't be surprised to see them go for it here.
Look for Johnson to carry. And it is Johnson going over behind his blockers. Wow. Picked up the yard and more. Johnson carrying people, getting out across the 40-yard line, inside to about the 39-yard line. So a big pickup there from Malcolm Johnson.
Pickup of 12 for the big Hobart tailback. I'm afraid he just crushed poor little number 22. Marcellus Davis is just 158 pounds. Big Malcolm Johnson, 195 and still growing. And he got down inside the Pirate 40.
Talking about a Mack truck hitting a little Volkswagen, we saw it right there. 1st and 10, Hobart Brickies. Inside the Merrillville Pirate 40-yard line, call it at the 39. The pitch there, number 34, Josh Manfred.
Did they
Manfred
fumble?
coughs the ball up.
They did lose it.
It appears
and
as though the Pirates have recovered. They have, so that could be the break the Merrillville Pirates needed to turn things around. They recover the fumble by Josh Manfred.
Jamel Williams, number 28, came up with the ball. Boy, he's recovered a fumble and picked up an interception tonight.
So Merrillville has got to try and capitalize here on the turnover, the fumble.
10:21, 10:20 to play as the Pirates break the huddle. It's not impossible, but they've got a long, long way to go.
Pirates going with the I formation. That's Holbrook, the lone wide receiver. They give to the second back through. That's Gallegos. picked up a couple yards. That'll bring up second down and about 8 for a first. Inside 10 to go here first. Inside 10 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. And Pirates have got to try and get something here.
Well, you're looking for the play action fake here, but Hobart's looking for it too. They're not going to pay any attention to the play action. There it is.
Gill rolling out. Gill's got a little room if he wants to. Gill's going to run it. He is game tackled there. Keith Joy just corralled him and bulldogged him down there. Joy with the one-handed tackle.
That was a gang of one. 230-pound Keith Joy pulling down little Troy Gill. In a situation like that, as Gill gets more experience, he will either throw the ball or run out of bounds.
Well, when you're 230 compared to you and I, that's a gang, isn't it?
There you go.
He's a big boy, 6 foot 230. He's a senior, and boy, he showed a lot of speed and agility on that play, corralling Gill down.
This is not one of the bigger Hobart teams. They've had much bigger, I would say much stronger, but I really don't know about that, but definitely much bigger teams. But they have a certain amount of quickness this year.
Gill rolling left. Gill under pressure. Gill gets the pass off to Holbrook. Holbrook inside the 40-yard line to about the 39. So Holbrook picks up the first down. And again, Gill rolling left, passing right.
Absolutely.
And that appears to be his best move here tonight.
And that's really hard to explain how a quarterback can do that, because it's very difficult to do. You got to shift your body totally in midair, but it's a sign of a good athlete, Troy Gill, that he can do that.
Right-handed Troy Gill rolling left, throwing back right, and that is a very tough play to master, but he has done it a couple times here tonight. Let's see if they can't capitalize here. Ball on the 39-yard line, inside 8.5 to go in the ball game. 1st and 10, Pirates, the Hobart 39. Gill again, back to pass, under pressure. He is going down. His knee was down.
He was sacked.
Gill thrown for a loss.
Looked like number 73 in there. Was that Ray?
Chris Ray, defensive end, a senior, 6'2", 190 pounds, throws Gill for the loss.
Sack number 3 for the Brickies. And I talked about that they have a certain amount of speed. You might say, well, that's somewhat of a slam against Hobart. Well, really, they have a tradition of being somewhat slow.
Right.
But this team is very quick. By their standards, they really can cover the ground, and they have the size to go with it.
Ball's back all the way to the 48-yard line, so a big loss for the Pirates. Merrillville's going to call timeout with just over 8 minutes to go here in the ball game. They're going to try and get something going here. After the big sack against Merrillville, it pushes them all the way to their 48-yard line of Hobart's. They're definitely got their backs against the wall. 2nd and 19, Gill back to pass, has the man open. Santiago spins, picked up a couple more yards. Santiago down to the 34-yard line.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with the way the Merrillville receivers are holding onto the ball. You say that's not much to ask, but in a pressure game, they have been able to hit the big passes. They really have hit enough passes to do a certain amount of damage tonight had they not fallen so far down to start with. 9 of 12 for Troy Gill, 130 yards. That's very good.
Pick up a 14 on that last completion of Santiago. So pro set formation. Gill again back to pass, getting rid of it.
Overthrown.
Intended target was Holbrook, but actually Rick Knight was the closest receiver for Hobart, and Knight almost came up with the interception.
There have been some holes in the Hobart secondary tonight. There have been a couple of passes that were open that should have been completed, and 9 have been completed by Troy Gill. But the most yards passing against Hobart this season was last week, excuse me, 129 by Jim Kilgore, the Portage quarterback. Of course, Jim was injured, suffered a back injury, is now out for the year for Portage.
So Portage struggling this season, as are the Merrillville Pirates tonight. Merrillville coming into this ball game tied with Hobart in the Duneland Conference. The winner is guaranteed at least a tie for the Duneland Conference Championship.
Well, there's the first drop.
Santiago had it, dropped it,
and the ball goes over. That was a
Hobart
fourth down
Brickies
play.
taking over now. Just a matter of letting the clock run out. 7:14 to go here in the ball game, and Hobart Brickies looking to get yet another shutout in their illustrious career here.
They don't usually get Hobart, and now they have gotten them. And again, Hobart has won or shared 10 consecutive Duneland Conference championships, and Portage beat them last year, but looks like Hobart's going to get a half share of the title once again this year. All they have to do is run out the last 7:14 of the clock.
So Hobart looking to make it 11 out of 12. So Hobart always tough here in the Duneland.
Malcolm Johnson, look at him run people down.
Johnson picked up the first down, 10 yards on that carry.
83 yards on 15 carries for number 49 of Hobart. That's Malcolm Johnson.
Johnson with shades of Crown Point fullback Minch, just running over people there. A big 10-yard gain there. Ball's out to the 45-yard line.
And with that shutout third quarter, only Lou Wallace and LaPorte have scored on Hobart in the third period this year. And only Hammond and LaPorte scored on them in the third period last year. I guess what these stats mean is that they put Aaron Merrillville down.
Again, we said before this game started it would be one in the trenches. Lines, so far it's been the Hobart offensive line moving the Merrillville defensive line, and then the Hobart defensive line moving people on the Merrillville offensive line. So Hobart winning it in the trenches. Don't forget to up to the minute latest news coverage and sports. Make sure you check out Channel 3 Indiana Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock and 8:30. Again, Johnson on the carry, bulling over right side, picked up a couple yards.
Close to the first down. Again, this is a Merrillville team that had allowed only 982 yards all year in 6 games. And the Hobart total is, well, it's up over 200, up over 250 tonight.
Clock continues to move inside 6 minutes to go here in the ball game.
It's tough. The Brickie's so used to winning, if you give them any break, they take advantage of it. And once they get a short lead, they feel they can win, and they feel they should win, and they just power it out against you. They're
doing to nothing. Just over 5.5 minutes to go in the stands.
This will be the Brickie's 6th straight win. They've only lost 4 games in so many winning seasons in a row. So much dominance. Teams come in here and just can't handle them in the key games. You know,
Manfred
really
on the carry.
Really, in the last 10 years, the only one and only.
Well, the Hobart Brickies are going to move to 6-1 overall, 5-0 in the Duneland. Pirates are going to drop to 5-2 and 4-1 in the conference. Tough loss for Coach Rick Wimmer and his Merrillville Pirates. I know they came into this ball game fired up, keyed up, ready to win it, and just some bad breaks here and there.
Boy, a lot of deception there. The ball went up the middle. That was a trap up the middle, but after the trap, Rick Knight faked a sweep.
For 34, which is really academic at this point in time. Clock still moving, inside 4 to go here in the ball game. Johnson again on the carry, picked up the first.
Very unofficial.